Okay, back with example 7. Example 7 looks a little different because of these negative exponents. But if you remember, when we have a negative exponent, we want to rewrite this as a fraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my numerator, rewrite my denominator. Because I know this is going to become a fraction, I'm going to make this x be a fraction by putting it over 1. So x over 1 minus, because of this negative 1, we would move this to the denominator. So this is really 1 over x divided by, I'm going to make this 1 a fraction, and then again this would be 1 over x. So now we're going to work on the numerator separately, getting a common denominator, get a common denominator for our denominator, and then we'll think about dividing. So if I want to get a common denominator between this 1 and x, I know that this needs an x, so the top's got to have an x. So my common denominator is x. Across the top, I have x times x is x squared, and then minus 1. So I'm just going to put a bubble around this, and I'm just going to write numerator so we don't forget what this is. I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. So again, this is going to need an x, top and bottom. So my common denominator is x, and then I have 1 times x is x, and then minus 1. So this is our denominator. So now we have that fraction divided by a fraction. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 1 over x divided by x minus 1 over x. And remember, when we're dividing fractions, fraction divided by a fraction, we want to do keep, change, flip. So when I do that, I'm going to have x squared minus 1 over x, keeping that first fraction the same. We're going to change that division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip that second fraction. So I see that I can factor this. This is a difference of squares into x plus 1, x minus 1. So we're back to our multiplying rule. So we can cancel out common factors that we see. So everything in the whole denominator is canceled out. So we're just left with that x plus 1 as our answer. Last, example 8. Pretty much the same way. So I'm going to rewrite this 3 as a fraction. And then we'll think about getting our common denominator. So I know this denominator needs an x plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute as I go across. So that's going to give me 3x plus 6 here. Then we have minus 6. And then our common denominator is x plus 2. We can simplify that to just be 3x over x plus 2. So this is my numerator. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom with the denominator. So I can see here we need an x minus 3. So when I distribute that 1, I'm still going to just get x minus 3 and then minus 2 over our common denominator of x minus 3. So negative 3 minus 2 is going to be x minus 5 over x minus 3 for our denominator. So again, I'm going to rewrite that as 3x over x plus 2 divided by x minus 5 over x minus 3. And you could use the division symbol there if you wanted to as well. So we're going to do keep, change, flip. So I'll have 3x over x plus 2 times, flip the second fraction, and if you look this time, There's no common factors. So I'm just simply going to put this together as 3x times x minus 3 with parentheses, and then x plus 2 times x minus 5. Because to multiply fractions, you would multiply straight across. So that's as simplified as we can get example 8. And that wraps up our adding and subtracting rationals.